All right, welcome. Excuse me, the water for being here. Understand? We're gonna get right into it. No lollygagging, no playing around. All right. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. I am priest and officer of 1000 I.S.U.P.K. This is the Lashawan Qadash class, which means the Holy Tongue class. All right. Today our topic will be on the Lord's Prayer. How to say it in Hebrew, how it translates in English. Okay, if you have any questions, drop them in the group chat. I'm sorry, in the comment section. All right, 1 second while I get to this chart. All right, so everybody should be able to see the screen. This is the Lashawan Kodash chart. All right, very similar to your ABC chart that you had in elementary, middle school, really throughout all of grade school, right? I think I don't know how far that went. But anyway, so this is no different than your ABCs. All right, this is the alphabet of the Lashawan Kodash. You mean, and every language has an alphabet. In order to learn that language, you got to know the alphabet. You got to know the characters that make up that language, so that way you can identify the characters and you can read them. You understand? Last week we covered how Adam came up with these symbols to represent each of these characters. You got A, Ba, Ga, Da. Let me make sure that I want y'all to see my pointer finger, my mouse pointer or whatever. So like it. So A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. So these are the characters that make up the Hebrew language. And how I pronounce them is exactly how they're pronounced. There are no I, there's no um there's no A sound. Like for instance, there's an I sound, but there's no A sound. So there's no like way and pay and hey. None of that is in the actual Hebrew. There's no O sound, so there's no O and there's no U sounds. So you won't find a word like toda, you understand? Or tov. You won't find those words in the biblical Hebrew language. You won't find words like shalom. Okay, you won't find words like uh, Judah or Yehuda. You won't find words. You won't find any e sounds either. So there are no what would they say? Elohim, right? Elohim is not biblical Hebrew. There's no A sounds, there's no O or U sounds, there's no E sounds. What else? Yeah. So that's pretty much it, I think. Okay. There's an I sound though. There's one I sound. All right. So you might be wondering, well, why do Jewish people use those sounds? U and O and E and E. Why do they have those sounds? Those are what's called imposed vowels. All right. In the biblical Hebrew, there's no such thing as those imposed vowels. All right. It wasn't until I believe the 1700s, if I'm not mistaken, that they came up with the Yiddish language. And the Yiddish language is derived from Germanic, Dutch, Polish, and a mixture of different languages put together. It's not the pure biblical Hebrew. Biblical Hebrew is a bunch of barbaric, hard sounds. All right, tazah, pa, qua, ha, kazak, ay tazab. You understand? These are the way. This is the way that the Hebrew is pronounced. Okay. So, for instance, my name is I tazab. On the chart, you see the I, the tazah. All right, not the ta and then the za. So it wouldn't be I ta za, wherever the za is, the I ta and za. It would be I taza and ba. I taza and ba. I taza, which means toiler or laborer, workman. Okay. If I were to use I, ta, za, and ba, that would make the word totally different. It'd be a totally different word. So the way that you spell a word matters. Okay, it matters a lot because different sounds, or I'm sorry, different characters make up different words. It's not like Hebrew, or it's not like English where um, one word can mean something else. In a way, it does in Hebrew. So, like, I might have to take that back because in Hebrew, it does. According to context, that same word can mean something else. But it's not like if I spell it different ways, it's going to mean the same thing. I could write it this way and it still means the same thing. It doesn't work that way. It's very particular what characters you use to make a word because those characters can change. For instance, all right, let me pull up the tablet here. All right, so okay, so for instance, right, you have that's not gonna work. You have Shabbat, and then you have Shabbath. All right, Shabbat and Shabbat. This is how you spell Shabbat. I mean Shabbat in Hebrew. It's a Shah. It's a Ba. And it's a Ta. In the Assyrian, it would look more like this. Go over a little bit. All right, looks kind of like that. And then the Assyrian, I mean in the ancient, I'm sorry, the Shabbath in the ancient is Shah, Ba, Tha. You see? So that's the only difference is that last character, Tha and the Ta. All right. So in the Assyrian, it's like this. Shabbatha. Right? Shabbath. These are two different words. Shabbat means tribe or family. It could also mean stock, like a tree, like a branch. Then Shabbath means rest. Okay, Sabbath day. So just one little character can change the entire meaning of that word. So you got to be careful when you're writing Hebrew and when you're pronouncing it, right? So when you're talking to somebody now, we might talk real fast, you know what I'm saying, like black people do. We might, you know what I'm saying, slur our words a little bit sometimes. Or we might speak in slang. You know what I mean? When we're speaking in Hebrew. We do it in English, so why wouldn't we do it in Hebrew, right? A lot of time that's how Hebrew was spoken. Even in the Maccabees, or maybe it was I think it might have been Joshua or Kings actually. When the Benjamites were beefing with the Ephraimites, they would stop everybody coming through the city to get them to pronounce one word, shibboleth, right? And depending on how you pronounce that word, they'll determine in their mind if you're Ephraimite or not. You understand? If you pronounce it the way the Ephraimites pronounce shibboleth or Shabbalah, then they would, probably, take your head off or something. You know what I mean? Because it was a big beef. There's a whole war going on. Ephraim was beefing with Judah. Benjamin. So, depending on how you pronounce that word, they'll, what I'm saying, they'll unalive you. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, here, I'll pull that scripture up for y'all. You know what I mean? Just in case you never heard it before. Yeah, Judges was the book. It looks like it's in the book of Judges, chapter 12, verse 5 through 6. Right? And the Gileadites took the passages of Jordan from the Ephraimites. And it was so that when those Ephraimites which were escaped said, let me go over, that the men of Gilead said unto him, art thou an Ephraimite? If he said, nay, then said they unto him, say now Shibboleth. And he said Shibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. Then they took him and slew him at the passages of Jordan. And there fell at that time the Ephraimites 42,000. All right, so yeah, they unalived 42,000 Ephraimites just off of a word, Shibboleth. Now, real quick, what I want to do, go to the BLB so we can get that word. I want to know what Shibboleth means, and of course, this is how we study. We're going to find those words in Hebrew. Well, I want to know what Shibboleth means in Hebrew, how to pronounce it in Hebrew. You understand? But you can imagine, just like today, the Ephraimites, who are the so-called Puerto Ricans, might pronounce some words differently than a Judite would, or a Levite would, or so-called Haitians. You know what I'm saying? The so-called Negroes. Like we got a way of pronouncing things that the Puerto Ricans don't pronounce the same way. Same thing with the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans. The Mexicans might pronounce something totally different than the Puerto Ricans. You understand? It's kind of how me personally, because I'm in Florida and I'm surrounded by all of these tribes, it's kind of how I can make out, where my people from. You know what I'm saying? If I see a Zebulonite or the so-called Guatemalans, and I hear them speaking, I could tell they eat. Now those two, I get those mixed up with. I get the Mexicans and the Guatemalans mixed up. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be trying to see, but then I'll be like, it's certain things that I can point out, like, all right, yeah, you probably Zebulon, you probably Guatemalan, you know what I mean? Because of the characteristics, the other characteristics they have, other than the way that they pronounce words. But the Guatemalans might pronounce a word similar to the way Mexicans pronounce the word, but there's different characteristics that can set them apart. The Puerto Ricans, now, the heavy part about it is this. Now we know that they got a different spirit. Like they got, like Ephraim has the spirit of Ephraim. We know Ephraimites because of their spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because they just like niggas. You know what I mean? Well, back then, colorism wasn't a big thing. Today in 2024, colorism is a huge thing. People think that the Puerto Ricans are not black because of the shade of their skin. You understand? When there are Puerto Ricans that are all types of shades. You understand? Well, back in the book of Judges, he had, like, the Gileadite had to ask the Ephraimite if he's an Ephraimite, because he couldn't go off of his skin color. You understand? He couldn't go off of the shade of his skin. He couldn't go off of if he was dark enough or too light. You know what I mean? So he asked him, well, pronounce this word. And when he failed to pronounce the word, you know what I'm saying, he got him up out of there. But let's go to the book of Judges. What is that? Judges 12. All right, so he told him to say Shibboleth. Now let's see what Shibboleth is. So the verse says, Waya Amarwa Lowa Amar Na'a Shabalath. You see that? That's Shabalath. Waya Amar Sabalath Wala'a Yakayan La Debar Khan Waya Amar Waya Akaz Waya Akazwa Awathwa Waya Shakhat Wahawa All Ma Aibar Wath Haya Radan Waya Paul Ba'aith Ha Haya Ma Aparium Rabayim Wa Shanyam Alap, right? Well, the word that we were coming here for is Shabbalat, right? 87641. Shabbalat, which just means flowing stream or ear of grain, like corn, head of grain, as growing cluster, right? So they couldn't say this word the way that the Gileadites said it. You understand? The Ephraimites had a particular way, just based off of the context of this verse. The Ephraimites had a particular way of pronouncing Shabbalat, right? And the Gileadites knew that. And so whenever they would ask a Ephraimite to say Shabbalat, that would be the cue. Like, yeah, he Ephraimite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But if you think about it in today's times and how black people operate, you understand? You got to read the Bible through the lens of black people. If you look at today's time and see how black people operate, that's something we would do. Tell me I'm wrong. It's definitely something we would do. All right, no sweat. Hey man, say Shabbalat. You know what I'm saying? If you're not Ephraimite, then say this. You know what I mean? And when he says it the way that you think he gonna say it because you know he an Ephraimite, then you know how to handle him. But that was unfortunate what happened. You understand? We should not be unaliving our brothers and sisters especially not when we have a common enemy. All right. Even today, black people are beefing with Hispanics. All right. Today, the Haitians and the Dominicans live on the same island, and they have a beef with each other. You understand? This has been going on for centuries. This has been going on since the Old Testament, since the book of Judges. It's been going on. You understand? And which is why Christ came to show us how to forgive our brothers, how to love each other. You know what I'm saying? Love our enemies. When it's talking about your enemies, it's talking about the enemies within your own family. You understand? It's not talking about every other nation. How do I know? Because Christ himself said not to go to the other nations. He told his disciples, don't go to the other nations. You understand? Don't go to the heathens. Go to the 12 tribes of Israel. Go to them. Talk to them. Tell them that they need to forgive their brothers. You understand? So, let's see. Oh, I don't think I could see what I was pointing at, man. Dang. Well, here's what I was talking about. This is Shabbalah. All right, Shabbalah. All right. It means flowing stream, ear of grain, head of grain, as growing cluster. Okay. All right. So yeah, how you pronounce the word now, although it's important, you know what I mean? As you can see, some tribes didn't really pronounce it the way that other people would pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? Like Benjamin. Benjamin, we pronounce a lot of our words that have a TH, we just pronounce the TH as a T sound instead of a th sound, right? So instead of saying 1, 2, 3, we say 1, 2, 3. You understand? We say um uh instead of throw, we say throw it away, you know, stuff like that. So that's just how different tribes operate. I mean, they got different ways of pronouncing things. It's always been like that. I'm trying to pull up the Lord's Prayer real quick. All right, so I think you guys can see the screen. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and in English. Unfortunately, it's not written in the ancient Hebrew. But I'm gonna zoom in real quick. All right. So this is the Lord's Prayer in English and in Hebrew. Okay. So first we have the word Abanawa. All right. Abanawa. Right. So let's break this word down. Abanawa it consists of two things. It consists of the root word, which is Abba, Nawa, which is a preposition. I'm sorry, which is a possessive pronoun. Salakia. All right. The Nawa means our. So Abba Nawa translates to our Father. All right. This is something that, you know, the Christian church doesn't understand. These are Christ's words saying this. For one, this is my first point I'm gonna make. These are Christ's words, right? according to Christian doctrine, Jesus Christ is God, right? Why is Jesus Christ, who's God, calling the Most High our Father? If Jesus Christ is the only Son of God, you know what I mean? Like, now, granted, he's called the first begotten Son of God. You understand? And we understand that. However, it also states in I'll put it out in a second, but it says, you know what I'm saying, who if you do the will of the Most High, is giving you power to be the sons of the living God. You understand? So even we can be the sons of God. God can be our Father as well. You understand? It's what you have to understand about the flow of the Bible. Christ is called the Son of God because he does the will of God. And he had to show us how to do the will of God. You understand? He had the Spirit of God, meaning he would do whatever, like even in this Bible, even in this prayer that he's going to tell us to pray, it's telling us to have his heaven on earth, right? The way that it is in heaven, we're praying to have that here on earth. We're praying that everything that the Lord wants done in heaven gets done on earth as well. So if the Lord gives an order to the angels, right, the angels are going to listen to that order. They're going to follow his order. They're going to say, "Kana the one kind," and they're going to do the order. On earth, though, that doesn't happen. You understand? Because when the Most High gives an order not to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, you know, your pastor says, just pray over it. God will understand. God will not understand. All right? Because he told us not to do it. Your father wouldn't be so understanding if he told you to do something and you didn't do it. He gonna whoop your butt. You understand? So that word is Abba Nawa. It's not really doing it justice, not writing in Hebrew. So let me see if I can. This is what I'll do. I'll download it to my computer. Okay, so we have Abba Nawa, right? Let's see. Let's make the color different. All right, so this is how you spell Abanawa in Hebrew. Abanawa, right, which means our Father. All right, Shaba Shemayim. All right, Shaba Shemayim. So this is Sha, this is Ba. Better yet, I think I'm gonna have to do y'all a favor and just write it under the actual word. So this is the Sha, this is the Ba, this is the Sha again, Ma, and then this word is connected, Ya and Ma. Okay, so Sha, Ba, Sha, Ma, Yum. All right, right to left. All right, I know that might have confused you because I'm writing from left to right, but this being connected is Yum from right to left. All right, please let me know if it's confusing to y'all or if you need me to write it a different way. I will. All right, Sha Ba Shemayim, Sha, which means which or pertaining to. All right, which Ba is in, Shemayim is heaven. Okay, which in heaven. So our Father which in heaven. Shaba Shamayim. All right, Qadash is holy. How do we know? Because this is the Lashawan Qadash class. Qua. Yeah, I'm gonna just write it this way. Qadash. All right, but keep in mind Hebrew is written from right to left. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Even though I'm writing it left to right, Hebrew is written right to left. Mm-hmm. All right, Haya, which means to be. Haya is to be. Ha, ya, ha. All right, this is not the Lord's name. How do we know? Because we're about to get the Lord's name in about 2 seconds. In fact, this next word means your name. Shumka is Shum is name. Ka means your. All right, Shum Ka. All right, the Shum part is name. Ka is a possessive pronoun, which means your. All right, Yahweh is the Lord's name. Yah, ha, wa, ha. Yah, ha, wa, ha. Our Father which in heaven, holy to be your name, Yahweh. Malak with ka. All right. Didn't think this through. That's in my way. All right. So ma la ka wa tha, and ka is malak wa. It's like malak wath ka, which is your kingdom. I don't like it. Okay, so I'm gonna just write the Hebrew from now. So malak wath ka is malak. Malak is king. All right. So if you ever see the word malak, ma, la, and ka, that word means king. Malak wath means kingdom. Okay, this is a kingdom. Now, whose kingdom? Ka is our possessive pronoun once again, which means your. So your kingdom. Taba'a, which means to come. And whenever you see an ah at the end, you're going to add. It's not going to be a ha sound, but you're going to say the ah. Okay. Whenever there's an ah at the end of a word, you have to say the ah. So it wouldn't be thaba. It's not thaba. It's taba'a. Whereas if there's a ha at the end of a word, sometimes you don't say the ha. Like Yahweh is just Yahweh. You understand? There's no ha sound at the end. It's just Yahweh. All right. But taba'a, when there's an ah at the end, you're going to always pronounce the ah. All right. So taba'a meaning come. So like yeah. Ra tazaka. It's a ra. It's a taza. Ka, which is your will. All right. Ra taza is will. Ka is your will. Haya be. It's like yeah. What was right there in English? We have haya again. Haya, which means to be or exist. All right. Aisha. All right. Aisha, which is to complete or to do. Ba, arataza. Ba is in. It's like it. Ba, a, ra, taza. Okay. Ba, arataza. Ba is in. All right. This is our preposition. Ba, arataza is earth. Okay. Arataza is earth. You see what I'm saying about these words, and having making sure that you get these characters right, the root words. You know what I mean? Without this ah, this would be rataza, which is the same as this word up here, rataza. You understand? Rataza ka. Okay? If you're not careful, you know what I mean? If you don't know if you're not studying the Hebrew and you picking up on vocabulary and getting these words under your belt, you might not realize that the I is part of the root word. You might look at that and say rataza. Well, that means we already know that means will. You understand? We know that rataza means will. So is this word in I will? You know what I'm saying? In your will? You mean because I can be a subject pronoun, meaning I or me. You understand? Like anya. Anya is I. Okay? And you can also use I to represent anya in the word. So you gotta know your vocabulary. You understand? You gotta understand context. So Ba'arataza is earth, in earth. Okay, in earth, Kawa, Kawa is or like, as or like. Haya again, to be. Haya, or to exist, or in this case, it is. Ba, sha, ma, ya, ma. Right? Ba shamayim. Ba shamayim. All right. We know that shamayim is in heaven. Shamayim. Ba shamayim is in heaven. All right. So I know I ain't writing it up here, but so far we got our Father which in heaven, holy be your name, Yahweh, your kingdom come, your will be done or complete, or Aisha, which is complete or done, or what I'm saying, to do. Ba'arataza, which is in earth. Kawa, like or as. Haya, it be or it is. Ba Shemayim, in heaven. Okay. Nathan. All right. Nathan means to give. Na Nathan. Nathan means give. All right. La Nawa. La na wa. Right. Means to us. Nawa means us. La means to. To us. Lacham. La cha ma, bread. All right. Lacham means bread. Call. Kala. Call means all. Yawam means day. Ya wa ma. Yawam. All day. Give us bread. Give to us bread all day. Wa sa la cha la na wa. Give to us bread all day. Wa, which means and. Salak means forgive. Right? Salak means forgive. So when you say salakya, which is saying is forgive me. The ya at the end of Salakia is a possessive pronoun, which means me. All right. So when we say Salakia, Salak ya means forgive me. This is saying and forgive la nawa to us, and forgiveness to us. All right. And forgive us kawawath nawa ka kawab kawab wa tha na wa kawab wa nawa, which is our debts, our trespasses. Kawab wa is trespasses. Nawa means adds possession to it, so it's our trespasses. All right. Ka salak nawa. Ka is as. Salak, as we know, is forgive. Salak. Nawa, which is us or we, as we forgive. Ka. Yo, this computer a little slow, so bear with me. I'm not the richest man in Israel, so I can't do much about the speed of this computer. But most high in Christ, we got a computer. All right. Ka wab wath ya nawa. Kawab wath ya nawa is our trespassers. All right. The people that trespass me. All right. So it's kawab wath ya nawa. All right. Wa la wa is and, la is no or not. You understand? Or don't. So wa la and don't. Wa is and, la is don't or no or not to or to not. All right. And not to tha baya'anawa. The ba ya a na wa. All right. 1 second. All right. So wa la is and not to. Tabaya'a Tabaya'a is lead. Tabaya'a, the root word for tabaya'a is lead. Nawa is our possessive pronoun, which means us. And to not lead us. Ba na sa Banasaya one, which means in. That's the ba in temptation. All right. A ball, which is but. Ba la. How was shy? Ha wa sha I nawa. Right? How was shy nawa, which is the word we can find in Christ's name, Yahushai. Yahushai means to save or deliver. Save us or deliver us. Mayan, which means to draw from. Oh man. Mayan is draw from, or in this instance, just from. Save us from. Rai, which is evil. Ra and I. Rai. Rai. Kaya. One second, when I get that. Kaya, I forget what Kaya is. I believe Kaya is for or therefore. Kaya. Ka. Let me get those real quick. Let me double check. All right, hold on. I think I got it in my notes. All right, so yeah, Kaya is H3588. All right, Strong's number H3588. That for, because, when, as though, as because. All right, so basically because. All right, so Kaya, which is like because. And then next we have la ka, which means to you. The la is to, Kaya is you. Ha, ma, la, ka wa tha ha malakwath. Again, we have the word malakwath. All right. Ha is a preposition which means the. Malakwath means kingdom once again. So we have deliver us. It's like it says, save, deliver or save us from evil, because to you the kingdom. All right. Wa ha Allah, and so like wa ha Allah, which is and the power. All right. Which is what God means. God means power or powers, plural, depending on what context. All right. Waha tha pa arath. Wa ha tha pa, long letter, pa arath. Waha tha pa arath. All right. Which is and. Wa is and. Ha is the. Tha pa arath is glory. Okay. And glory. Okay. La I.S.U.P.K. La I.S.U.P.K. which is to forever. To forever, to eternity. You mean Amun. Here's the one that Christians mess up. You mean, listen, if you're Christian, you should be studying under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. You should be studying under the I.S.U.P.K. and learning everything from us, from real priests of the Lord, so you can understand what the Bible is all about. All right. As I explained this before, Amun, matter of fact, I went over this last week. Amun is not a man. All right. This is not the Hebrew word for man. The Hebrew word for man is Ayash. All right. The word for man in Hebrew is Ayash. Amun is truth, or so be it. Not truth, like, okay, there's two types of truth in Hebrew. Truth could be the bar. I mean, I'm like a moth, right? Truth could be a moth, or it could be a mun, which is like, how can I put it? Truth or so be it. Meaning, it is what it is. All right. Or it's going to be, or it's going to, that's going to be it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to put it. So truth, like, when something is true, it's a fact, right? It's done. So this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the amun can mean in context, meaning it's completed. That's the truth. That's a fact. You understand? So be it. I think that's the best way I could put it. All right. So we got our Father which in heaven, holy to be, name you, or your name. Select your name, Yahweh. Malakutka, which is your kingdom come, your will to be or be done in earth as it is or it be to be in heaven. All right, so the reason why I'm reading it like this, I know it sounds a little confusing, but in Hebrew, these words are, it's plain. You know what I mean? Like Hebrew is a plain language. It doesn't take all of the filling of words. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to fill up a sentence with words. You don't have to use all these different words to mean the same thing. It means the same thing. It's just in English, you gotta translate it to make it make sense in your mind. You know what I mean? Like before there was an English language, you would say haya in your sentence and people understood what you meant. You would say kaya in your kawa in your sentence and it's understood because you get the flow of what they're saying. The context of what they're saying paints the picture for you. All right, so if I said Abanawa Shabbat Shemayim Qadash Haya Shamka Yahweh Malakwika Taba'a Ratazaka Haya Aisha Ba'aratiza Kawa Haya Bashemayim Nathanawa Lacham Ka Yawam Wasalaknawa Kawabwatnawa Kasalaknawa Kawawatyanawa Wala'a Tabi'a Nawa Banasa one Abal Hawashainawa Mayan Rai Kaya Laka Hamalakwat Wahataparat Laiwanamya Aman. I don't need to break down how this is not to be, but it is. You know what I mean? I don't have to break that down to you because if you understand Hebrew, then you understand what I'm saying. You can break it down in your head, like, okay, I get it. I know what you're saying. It's to be. There's no such thing as to be in ancient. There's no such thing as it is or it was in ancient Israel. So it's kind of like how in 2024 we have to break down the Bible, but the Bible was not meant to be broken down. The Bible is a record of what took place. You understand? The Bible is that's it. It's just a record of what happened, and no one needed it to be broken down because it was happening right before their eyes. Now in 2024, because of Christianity, because of white supremacy, because of slavery, because of all these different things and nuances, and your mind wanting to believe in whatever you want to believe, now we have to go and break down these scriptures because you don't understand what the Bible is saying. And someone told you that it's saying something different than what it really is. So it's kind of the same with the actual language. I mean, you don't have to learn. You don't have to. Back then, it wasn't a need for it to be broken down because you speak that language. You just get it. There was no words like there. It is therefore wither to. You know what I'm saying? Like think about that. You have to get told what wither to means because you don't speak old English. So you have to get it broken down to you in a language you do understand. You know what I mean? So that's why it kind of sounds weird when you hear it translated the way that it's translated because it's just a different language. Didn't have all the filler words that you use today. All right, so back to it. As it is in heaven, give to us bread all day. All right, so right here I'm at Yawam, right? Yawam is bread. Give to us all day. Give to us bread all day, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Wala and not to lead us in temptation, but save us, deliver us, Yahweh how was shy Noah from evil. Kaya, because to you the heaven. I mean, it's like the kingdom. To you the kingdom and power and the glory to forever, to eternity. So be it. To infinity and beyond. So be it. All right, and that's what the Lord's Prayer translates to in English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right. Let me see if I have any questions in the chat. We got Color Pa, Shalom, Yahushua Thabash Shai. Princess Kalapa, wife in possession of Officer of 1,000, Nakwaban Yahawada, checking in out of Killeen, Texas. Most High Christ says Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thabah Shemiel Shai. Thank you for tuning in. If nobody else has any questions, I'll give y'all a few seconds, chime in if you do have any questions. If not, then that's going to be the class for today. Give y'all a minute. Maybe y'all got some questions for me. Maybe not. All right, then. So, with that being said, Shalom. Y'all bash me out, shot, break a thumb to all the brothers. The wife for being here. Y'all Shamar, thumb bash me out, shot to all the sisters. The wife for y'all too. I'll get with y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Sabbath service. You definitely want to tune in. You understand? We'll be reading the Tanakh in Hebrew and in English. So, it's definitely important for you to be in these classes. You know what I'm saying? Learn that Hebrew language so that you can definitely excel when reading the Tanakh. All right, because it's written in Hebrew. So with that, Shalom.